Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It's Jess here, and it has been a week. Anybody else feeling that? Are you feeling that too? Maybe it's just one of those weeks where you're like, holy moly, the energy is crazy, or holy moly, it's been freaking busy, or insert. I know we're getting close to the end of the school year here too, and I think everyone's feeling it, but it's just such a busy season. We had friends in town, and I'm getting ready to go home for a few days to go see Shania Twain with my dad tonight, and we launched something super exciting, and it's just been one of those weeks of busyness. And I know sometimes in those seasons, I can forget to be present. And it's actually interesting because it's something that I noticed Glenn repeating to me this week. Well, promise me you'll be there, Jess. I'm like, what do you mean? And I know what he means is that I can be present. I can check the box off my list. I can, show up over and over again and do all the things and even be energetic in doing it. But sometimes I just do it to check the thing off the list. Even if it's something I've been really excited for, it can still feel like another thing on my to-do list. And I think I was feeling that this week, and he noticed it, and he reminded me several times, like, just promise me that you'll be there. I'm like, okay. Like when someone tells you to calm down, you're like, okay, I'll stay calm. But I need those reminders. And I love that I have a partner who can help me and to see the things that I can't always see when I'm in the mess and in the chaos. So I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to be here with you right now. I'm not thinking about anything else. I am sitting here in my PJs, sipping on some pre-workout and just enjoying hanging out with you in this moment. And it's okay if you're doing a whole bunch of things too, and you're in the mess and you're in the chaos and in the busyness. It's okay. I'll just be chilling here with you. You do your thing, folding laundry, hanging out with the dog, whatever you're doing today. And I really wanted to talk to you about what's been on my heart all week and what has made this week one of the most busy and really exciting weeks in a long time. If you saw your email, you saw that we are going on an international retreat. And this all stemmed from on my feedback form at the last retreat, our spring retreat that we had here in Nova Scotia. Somebody asked, I love coming to your retreats, but have you ever thought about going international? Like next year I want to do something big and I'd love to do this, but do you, I don't know, have you ever thought of it? I should have written down what the actual comment was because there was no stuttering in a written comment on a feedback form. But that being said, it was just one of those moments where I was like, I have been thinking about this, but I didn't think anyone would come or that I'd be ready to build something like this. And when I finally started to talk it out and connect with a couple people who were interested in something big like this, I started to get more confidence and more courage to just be like, okay, let's start planning it. And it's been probably about a month and a half of me planning out all the details, picking the perfect place, really spending time and being intentional about what I want this retreat to look like and how I want people to feel coming to it. And if you've been to one of my retreats before, I plan out every detail. I want you to come and not have to worry about anything. That you can just come and get to be yourself and hang out with incredible people and focus on your growth more than focusing on the nitty-gritty details of how to get there and what to do. And, when we get there, this is the itinerary, all these things, right? I have that stuff planned out, so you don't even have to think about it. And that same mindset that I have with a weekend retreat is coming into this week-long retreat that I am planning for 2024. And I think that's why it's taken so long for me to put all of the details together and get the perfect place and all of those things, the details, the tours that I want to go to, the workshops that I want to put on and the connections that I want to make and all of those pieces. And it took a long time to put them all together. And until I can finally feel confident to say that I have the most incredible trip planned for you, all the details, everything about it was designed with your confidence in mind and was designed with your growth and connection with others in mind. And I am so excited that it's finally out and I can share it with you, because I've just been buzzing, holding this secret in, and I'm not a person for secrets. So it was really hard. So if you didn't read your email or you're not on the email list, one, I'll put the link in the show notes for you to be able to hop on that. We send out weekly confidence newsletters, and any news and excitement that we'll have, it'll also be the place where you'll be able to get the link to sign up for the retreat. So if you are not on the list, go run and get on it now so that you're able to get this information first. But if you aren't on the list, you didn't get an email and you're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Jess. I saw you teased on your stories a little bit, but I don't know what you're talking about. So in April of next year, 2024, we are going back to where it all began. We are going back to Barbados. And this has been a dream of mine since I left. I always knew that I would go back and I would get to highlight the beautiful things on the island, and I would get to see it as a tourist, not as someone who's living there, and really get to experience the island. And I knew I wanted to bring people with me. And this has been on my heart for a really long time. So the fact that it's coming to life still feels surreal. But one of the reasons why I picked this place, because I looked at other locations too. When someone said international retreat, I said, okay, let's put all the cards on the table. Where would we want to go? What are all the things? I looked at so many different details, but my heart kept coming back to Barbados. It was a place that was home for me for a year and a half. And it was a place that defined this podcast, that started this whole business, which I think is so freaking cool now that I look back and think of it. It's like, wow, what a transformational time it was. And there really is some beautiful pieces to the story that haven't been heard, that haven't been shared, because I never really knew how to share some of the things. And I actually got a message this morning that triggered this podcast, that pushed it in this direction, that somebody said, wow, like, you're going back to Barbados, like maybe you'll finally have a happy memory. And I was like, whoa, is that what people think? That I don't have any happiness in a whole year of my life because I've only shared the darkness. And I know you can get that in those dark seasons. Sometimes we can only see the darkness, right? It's hard to see the beauty and it's hard to see the light. But there were so many beautiful moments being there for a whole year. And planning this trip out, I actually feel like it's going to be this healing moment to go back and to only highlight the beautiful pieces and to really see the transformation in the women who are coming through their healing of being surrounded by ocean. I don't know about you, I'm a water gal, and being surrounded by ocean was the most healing practice that I had being there. Swimming with the turtles like it ain't no thing. Like we would just on a Sunday go down and swim with the turtles. And that be like a piece of our moment. Like when Glenn and I actually, interesting, now that I sit here and I'm starting to think about these things, when Glenn and I think about our happy place, when you are like, where is the happiest place on earth? When someone tells you to chill out and you need to think of the happiest place, for us, it's our beach chairs on the beach in Barbados. And interestingly enough, that being one of the darkest seasons and hardest seasons of both of our lives, the moment of us sitting in those chairs at the beach club that we were members of and hanging out, whether it's reading a book or sipping a rum punch or going swimming or just relaxing, that is our happy place. That was the moment of solitude for us after hard times and hard weeks. We'd be able to go and sit at the beach. And same goes with some of the places that we're going to be touring. So I've hired a private Barbados tour that's going to take us to all of my favorite places on the island, like going to the other coast where we're going to be able to see like different beaches and be able to experience different restaurants that we loved so much. And we're going to go to the Animal Flower Cave and experience the caves, which Glenn and I got to hike at. And it was just so much fun. There's so many beautiful memories that I don't think I've talked about when it comes to Barbados, because the darkness has taken over. It's taken over the story. And sometimes when I see the darkness and the light is now, right? The light is this beautiful life that I've been given to be able to sit and have a business all built around my journey, my story, and my confidence. That is the light, right? To the darkness, that was Barbados. But that's actually not the case. There was still a lot of light in those days in Barbados too. And yeah, there were some really hard times there. And actually, Glenn and I are going down a week before the retreat. So I'll be in Barbados for 2 weeks, which is amazing. But we'll be going down a week earlier just in case anything does pop up, just in case there's any feelings that even just like landing on the plane, landing on the runway that my husband worked so hard to make happen. I know things are going to pop up and memories and feelings are going to pop up, but I've thought of all that. Can I control if triggers come up? No, of course not. Things are of course going to come up, but I think that's part of the healing journey too. We have to face some of these things. And I have always dreamed of going back in different circumstances, going back when there's going to be more tourists on the island, and going back with other people so it feels less isolating and less scared. There's a really beautiful thing about bringing women to this place that is both the reason I was broken, but also the reason I started to heal and to find myself and got me on the path to get me here in this beautiful light. And so I'm so excited because in the trip we have snorkeling with the turtles, which is the most magical experience. If you have never done it, it is so cool to be able to go and feed the turtles and spend some time there and snorkel and do a catamaran. And then I also have a dinner show planned with like bright lights and all fun outfits and just this like beautiful night out for us to be able to go and have some fun. And of course, the island tour, taking us to favorite places on the island, beautiful scenery, and just like so much fun. And I can picture us sitting in a van, going on a tour and just laughing and having so much fun and talking about everything, right? Everything in our life, because that's a big reason why I also picked a private villa versus a resort. So if you saw the pictures, it is a private villa. It'll just be us there, plus our chef and housekeeper who will be able to help us with things. And I picked that because I wanted it to be a safe space. I wanted to be in control of who was there, and if anyone was having big feelings or going through a moment of transition and trying to sit with what they're going through. And then there was someone just like sitting over by the pool, like watching them being like, these girls are whack. Because I know sometimes these retreats can get really deep and get really fast. And I wanted it to be in a place where we could 100% be safe to feel whatever it is that you want to feel and to connect with others without the fear of who's going to be around and who's watching and what's going on. It's just us in a whole house together. Like, how much fun is that going to be? It's like a big slumber party for a whole week. And the best part about it is that we'll be able to work on our confidence and be able to have our workshops and our daily morning rituals and really be able to find what it is that we came to Barbados to find through this deep dive week together. And there's a few things that I haven't shared that I'm hoping will be able to be a part of this as well. But in the meantime, all the details are on the website. You'll be able to see the cost and where the house is and what we'll be doing, what's included and what's not included. And there is also an FAQ on the website. But if there's questions that you have and you're like, yeah, but what about this? Then please send me a message, email me, connect with me on Instagram so that I can answer all your questions so you can make your decision confidently if this is the choice for you. There is only 7 to 8 spots available for the retreat too. So I'm keeping it small because same as the reason I picked a private villa, it's the same for keeping it really small so that we can have deep connections and really be able to spend time together. And there'll be time for one-on-one and time for group connections. And every bedroom, if you even are sharing a room, it's only 2 people to a room. So there's space for safety, there's space for growth, there's space for you to spend time alone if you're an introvert like me, or there's time to spend time with a whole group if that is what feels best for you. We'll have a variety of free time and planned trips and workshops, and there will be an itinerary, but it's not coming out until closer to, just so that I can make sure all the details are still the same, but there will be structure to it. So if you want to plan something, if you're like, I've always wanted to do this if I went to Barbados, you'll be able to have time for that too. And you'll be able to know when to plan that for. So I'm really, really, really excited about this. Glenn and I have been talking about like where we're going to eat when we go and what we're going to do. And he won't be there when we do the girls trip, just so you know. We're just going a week before so we can see friends and go to our favorite places and experience the island and get ready for the retreat. And then he'll go home and then I'll be able to spend all my time with the girls, which is going to be so excited. And if you're like, okay, Jess, like I'm so in, if you are in the sisterhood, tickets will go on sale Friday, June 16th at noon Atlantic Standard Time. You will have exclusivity for 2 days to snag your spot to save if that's where you want to go. It's a $350 deposit, and then it streams out a 10-month payment plan that you'll be able to make installments on up until March 29th. So really, you only have to have the trip paid in full just before we leave next year in 2024. So I wanted to make it accessible for anybody who really wanted to be there and to be a part of this, who's feeling that itch like, I need to be there. I know that feeling when people announce retreats. I have them often. So if that's you and you're in the sisterhood, Friday, you'll be able to get your space. And if you're not in the sisterhood, one, get your butt in there. We just did a workshop yesterday all about body confidence in the summer, and it was so freaking good with Ashley O'Connor. You have to check it out. But if you're not in the sisterhood, you will have access to get your ticket on Sunday, June 18th at noon. So there'll be a couple days in between for anybody in the sisterhood. And then if you're not, and you still want your ticket and there's still spots left, because again, there's only 7 to 8 spots, get your ticket on Sunday. And that's pretty much it. I really just wanted to highlight in this episode today, one, that we were going to freaking Barbados, okay? So many people messaged when I lived there and was like, I wish that I could be there. And again, like we talked about earlier, sometimes I have a hard time when I'm in it, seeing what I'm in until I'm out of it. And I had Glenn as a reminder there too, like, hey, be present, be here. And it's the same thing in this moment when we get to go back. We'll get to be present in this place together. And it really is a beautiful island. And I wanted you to see and highlight the beauty that is there and the fun that we're going to get to have. And you know what's another really cool thing about this location is that no one really does retreats here. I actually talked to a lot of local friends and they're like, Jess, like, no, go to Mexico. Like, don't do it here. Like, people don't do retreats here. It's just too expensive. It's not a good place to do it. And my gut kept telling me it was 100% the best place to do it. I didn't want to go to Mexico. I didn't want to go to France. I didn't want to go to Costa Rica like everybody else. I wanted to go to the place that I was being called to go to, and that is 100% Barbados. I have thought this through. I have thought every detail through so that you don't have to. If you're feeling that itch in your stomach and you're just like, I need to be there, trust that itch and step into it, because I promise you, this is going to be a transformational and beautiful experience. And I really can't wait until we're sitting on the beach together in our bathing suits, truly absorbing what confidence can feel like. So if you have any questions, please send me a message, connect with me. I'll put everything in the show notes so that you can have the information. And if you're not on the email list and you want the link as soon as it comes out on Sunday, let me know. If you're like, I have questions or I really want this, but I'm not sure, let's chat it out, because I want you to walk into this as confident as you can, making a decision about where to go and what to do. I am counting down the days. I can't wait to see you there. And I hope you have an awesome week. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.